You're caught in the middle of a storm. Distractions crash at you like relentless waves, notifications, emails, people pulling your attention from every direction. It's chaos out there. But you're calm. Still. Focused. In control. Your mind sharper than ever. Now, pause for a moment. Because let's be honest, this isn't most people's reality. For many of us, it's the opposite. We sit down to work, and within minutes, we're checking our phones. We try to read, but our thoughts wander. We attempt to focus, but 100 things pull us away. Then frustration sets in. Doubt creeps up. Why can't I focus like before? What's wrong with me? Maybe deep work isn't for me. Sound familiar? Here's the truth, you're not broken. You don't need a superhuman brain or a magic productivity trick. What you need is a new way of thinking, and it starts with an ancient idea. The Stoics, ancient philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, knew the real battlefield isn't out there. It's inside your mind. They believed power comes not from controlling the world, but from controlling how you respond to it. That starts with focus, discipline, and clarity. Stoicism isn't about being tough or emotionless. It's about being precise with your energy, about refusing to let the noise of the world dictate your life. Think of your mind as a sword. You can let it rust in distraction. Or sharpen it daily through intention, awareness, and mental discipline. And don't worry, you don't have to meditate for hours or retreat to a cave. It all begins with one simple truth: you are not your distractions, you choose what to focus on. That choice is yours, and it's powerful. Before we dive deeper, I want you to make a simple declaration. If you're ready to take control of your mind, tired of being pulled every which way by notifications, impulses, and emotions, type this in the comments now: my mind is my weapon. Because it is. Treat it like one, and everything changes. Let this be the moment you stop blaming the world for your scattered thoughts. Let today be the day you take responsibility and start sharpening your focus like a blade. We're about to explore practical tools, rooted in ancient wisdom, backed by modern science, designed for real people with real lives. No perfection needed. Just commitment. Let's build an unshakable mind. Together, picture this: you sit down to work, coffee in hand, ready to tackle your goals. But within minutes, your phone buzzes, a message from a friend. Then you remember an email you haven't replied to. Social media notifications pop up. Before you realize it, you're scrolling through memes, wondering where the last half hour went. Sound familiar? That's modern life in a nutshell. We live in a world overwhelmed with noise, social media feeds updating every second, emails dinging, group chats buzzing non-stop. Even our own thoughts can hijack our attention. Did I pay that bill? What about my project? I need to pick up groceries. These tiny distractions chip away at our focus like termites eating away at a foundation. But here's the truth: focus is the foundation of everything you want to achieve. Think about the most successful people you know: entrepreneurs, artists, athletes. What's their secret? They've mastered the art of zeroing in on what truly matters. When Elon Musk designs rockets, he's not worrying about his phone's battery. When Serena Williams steps onto the court, she's not distracted by last night's texts. They've learned to direct their attention with laser-like precision. This is where Stoicism offers a powerful lesson. Ancient Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca taught that the mind is our most powerful tool. Your thoughts shape your reality. Training your mind to focus on what's important makes you unstoppable. They didn't see focus as mere willpower. It's a skill, a muscle you strengthen with practice. So, how does this work in real life? Imagine you're working on a business proposal. Instead of letting your mind wander through what-ifs, you set a clear goal: I will outline the key points in the next 30 minutes. You close all unnecessary tabs, put your phone on Do Not Disturb, and commit. When distracting thoughts come: did I schedule that doctor's appointment? You acknowledge them but gently bring your focus back. Now is proposal time. Here's a personal story. Last year, I wanted to write a book. At first, I kept telling myself I'd write when I had time, but that moment never came. So I created a simple ritual inspired by Stoicism. Every morning after coffee, I'd write for 25 focused minutes. No distractions allowed. At first, my mind jumped all over. But with practice, those blocks became sacred. Soon, I was writing hundreds of words daily. Focus isn't magic. It's a deliberate practice. The Stoics remind us, attention is a choice. Each time you focus on one thing and ignore the rest, you're strengthening that mental muscle. The benefits show up everywhere: better work, stronger relationships, clearer decisions. Instead of reacting to every ping, you create your own path. If you're ready to take back control, start now. Breathe deeply and say this out loud or type it in the comments: I control my focus. I control my destiny. Say it. Believe it. Because that's the first step toward an unbreakable mind. Have you ever noticed how, no matter where you are, your mind is pulled in 100 different directions? You sit down to read a book, and your phone lights up. You try to write an email, but suddenly you remember you need to check the news. Even when chatting with a friend, a tiny ping from your pocket steals your attention. It's as if our brains have been rewired to crave these little bursts of excitement, those microdoses of dopamine that flood our system with every notification. This constant stimulation is exactly why so many minds today feel weak and scattered. Think about it: each time your phone buzzes, your brain's reward system kicks in. Dopamine hits, giving you a quick pleasure burst. Soon enough, you find yourself chasing that same feeling again and again. Over time, this cycle becomes a habit. Your attention fragments, bouncing from one thing to another, never settling long enough to build real depth or momentum. Let me share a story. Last year, I decided to learn Spanish just for fun. I downloaded a popular app, convinced I'd practice 20 minutes every morning. Day 1 went well. But on day 2, right after opening the app, my phone buzzed with an email alert. Just 1 minute, I told myself, but that minute stretched into 10. Before I knew it, I was scrolling through news headlines instead of practicing verbs. By week's end, those 20 minutes had disappeared into scattered, half-hearted attempts. Suddenly, learning Spanish felt like climbing Mount Everest without any gear. What went wrong? It wasn't motivation, it was modern life. Notifications, social media, email alerts, they're designed to pull you in. Every buzz screams, look at me. I'm urgent. But most aren't. Joshua 4, a memory champion, says that if he waits 2 minutes before checking a notification, 80% turn out irrelevant. Yet most of us never pause. We react instantly. Feeding the distraction cycle. That's why Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If your mind constantly jumps from one distraction to another, deep focus, and real happiness, slips away. Your thoughts scatter like leaves in the wind, and your life reflects that chaos. So how do you break free? Start with awareness. Imagine watching yourself on split screen. On one side, you're working, on the other, you're reflexively unlocking your phone every few minutes. That moment when you realize, wait, I'm supposed to be working, that's awareness. Catch yourself there, and you reclaim control. Try this now. Set a timer for 2 minutes. Sit quietly and notice every time your mind wants to drift, to a thought, feeling, or urge to check your phone. Just observe, don't judge. This simple act shines a light on your habits and reminds you that you have a choice: pick up your phone or let the thought pass. Over time, you'll spot patterns and triggers. Maybe stress makes you reach for your phone. Or you check social media when tasks feel tough. Once you know this, create small strategies. For example, delay checking email until after 30 minutes of focused work, or use apps to block distractions. Perfection isn't the goal. Some days you'll slip, and that's okay. The Stoics believed in progress, not perfection. Every time you notice distraction and gently guide your focus back, you're strengthening your mental muscle. If you're ready to reclaim your attention, make this commitment with me: whenever you catch yourself distracted, pause and say, I choose to control my focus. Type it in the comments if you're in, because every small step toward awareness is a giant leap toward an unbreakable mind. In the next segment, we'll explore the Stoic idea: control what you can, ignore what you can't, and how that mindset can transform your focus and your life. Stay tuned. Your unbreakable mind is closer than you think. Alright, let's dive in. You've probably heard the Stoic mantra: control what you can, ignore what you can't. But have you ever truly reflected on what this means, and how it can change your life? Think about how often you catch yourself worrying about things beyond your control. Maybe you're stuck in traffic, frustrated about being late. Or you replay a conversation over and over, obsessing about what someone said. Or you wake up stressed about what a coworker might think of your presentation. Sound familiar? We do this all the time, wasting precious energy on things we cannot change. In Stoicism, this idea is more than just a phrase, it's the key to mental freedom. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Trying to control others' thoughts or the world is like a sailor trying to command the ocean, exhausting and pointless. Now imagine flipping that script. Focus on what you can control: your actions, reactions, and mindset, and you become the captain of your own ship. Say you hear rumors of layoffs at work. Instead of panicking or scrolling social media, you ask yourself, what can I control? You can't stop the company's decisions, but you can improve your skills, update your resume, or talk openly with your manager. Those actions move you forward. Here's another example: preparing for an important meeting. You worry if your boss will like your proposal and imagine worst-case scenarios. That anxiety drains your confidence. Instead, focus on what you can control: your research, your practice, your presentation. Maybe rehearse extra or get feedback from a trusted colleague. You can't control their opinion, but you can control your preparation. That shift from worrying about outcomes to controlling inputs builds confidence instantly. Let me get personal. Last year, I trained for a half marathon. On race day, it poured heavily. My shoes were soaked, and the course turned muddy. My first thought was, this isn't fair. Then I remembered, I can't control the weather. So I focused on my pace, breathing, and mindset. I told myself, I will finish this race and learn from every step. Crossing that finish line, despite everything, was one of the most empowering moments of my life. Discipline makes this possible. It's easy to say, I'll focus on what I can control, but it takes daily practice. Discipline is choosing to journal priorities instead of scrolling your phone or pausing before reacting to frustration. It means setting boundaries and protecting your focus. Try this now: write down 3 things you're stressing over. Next to each, note what part you actually control. You might find your control is smaller than you thought, and that realization frees you. So here's your call to action: take a deep breath and say, I focus on what I can control. Repeat it whenever distractions pull you away. Make it your mantra. Each time you reclaim your focus, you gain power, calm, and resilience. Keep this mantra close. In the next segment, we'll explore why our brains crave distraction, and how to master it. For now, remember, focus on what you can control, and watch your world transform. Have you ever sat down to work, only to find yourself minutes later lost in social media? You open your laptop ready to write. But the ping of an email pulls your attention away. Just one quick check, you tell yourself, then suddenly you're scrolling news headlines, wondering where the last half hour went. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone, and there's a reason why your brain keeps pulling you away. Our brains are wired for dopamine, the feel-good chemical released every time something rewarding happens. Remember the last notification sound you heard? That tiny ding gave you a microdose of dopamine, signaling your brain to pay attention. The next ping triggers the same craving, and over time this becomes a habit. You start reaching for your phone or clicking new tabs every few minutes, chasing that quick burst of pleasure, but every time you shift focus, you lose cognitive energy. Imagine running a race but having someone tap your shoulder every few seconds. Each interruption forces you to pause, answer, then restart, but restarting takes mental effort. Neuroscientists call this attention fragmentation, costing about 20 seconds each time to refocus. 10 interruptions an hour add up to 3 lost minutes of prime focus. Over a workday, those fragments become hours of wasted effort you'll never get back. So how do we break this cycle? Stoic wisdom offers a powerful tool: detachment. The Stoics practiced apatheia, not meaning to be emotionless, but to separate themselves from distractions and impulses. They trained their minds to see a notification as just a sound, not an urgent command. Their reminder: right now, nothing outside this moment controls me. This mindset builds mental resilience over time. One simple way to practice Stoic detachment is through awareness. Awareness acts like a spotlight in a dark room, showing where your attention drifts. Next time your phone buzzes, pause. Notice the urge: there's that dopamine craving. This brief gap between stimulus and response gives you a choice. Try this now: set a timer for 2 minutes, phone out of sight. When a distracting thought appears, what if I miss something important? Simply note, I see a distraction, then gently return your focus to your breath or an object like a pen tip. Don't judge yourself, just observe. Over time, these small exercises strengthen your awareness muscle, making it easier to catch distractions in real life. Here's a personal story: I was journaling when my phone buzzed. I felt the pull to check it but remembered my practice. I paused, recognized the urge, said, "This can wait," silenced the phone, and finished writing. That tiny moment of awareness saved me from a deep dive into distraction. Awareness isn't a one-time trick, it's a daily practice. Each time you notice your mind wandering, you reclaim control. Say this mantra now, aloud or silently: I control where my attention goes. Repeat it and feel it. Distractions will always exist, but with Stoic awareness, you weaken their power. Next, we'll explore techniques to cultivate laser-like focus. For now, remember, awareness is your first line of defense. Catch your mind when it wanders, and reaffirm: I control where my attention goes. This choice unlocks deep, unbreakable focus. Let's talk about a powerful skill: the art of building laser-sharp focus. In today's distracted world, focus feels like a rare superpower. But it's not magic, it's about practicing the right habits. One of the oldest, most practical guides to this comes from Stoicism, an ancient philosophy surprisingly relevant for our modern chaos. First, think about how you start your day. Many people immediately dive into their phones, drowning in emails, news, and notifications. But what if you flipped the script? The Stoics valued a morning reflection, a quiet moment before the noise begins. Imagine this: before reaching for your phone, you sit down, breathe deeply, and prepare mentally for the day ahead. What are your priorities? What challenges might arise? What mindset will you bring? This small ritual sets the tone for the entire day. It's like sharpening your mental sword before battle. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's greatest thinkers, wrote morning reflections reminding himself what truly matters. This isn't just planning, it's tuning your mind to focus on what counts most. Next is a surprising technique: negative visualization. Instead of avoiding fears, you imagine worst-case scenarios. Why? Because facing these fears mentally prepares you emotionally. You become less shaken by surprises. Imagine losing your job or a relationship falling apart. It's tough, but visualizing these helps build resilience. Rather than wasting energy fearing the unknown, you build a mental fortress. This steadies your focus since your mind isn't bouncing around worrying what if. Then, there's mindful detachment, the skill of stepping back from distractions and centering yourself in the present. Think of distractions as waves trying to pull you under. Mindful detachment is your surfboard. You notice the waves but don't let them sweep you away. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, don't react to every emotion. Stay calm. Stay clear. Emotions often hijack our attention. When frustration or anxiety hits, instead of letting it derail you, observe it, then gently return your focus to what you can control. Here's a personal note: I used to struggle with long work sessions. My mind wandered, distractions won. But applying Stoic principles, especially morning reflection and mindful detachment, helped me improve. I wasn't perfect, but I became stronger. I learned to notice distractions and bring my focus back without self-judgment. Focus isn't about perfection, it's about resilience and practice, so here's my challenge: start tomorrow with a brief morning reflection. Before your phone, before emails, set your intentions. Consider what might test your focus and prepare your mind to stay steady. Practice imagining tough scenarios, not to scare, but to empower. And when distractions hit, remember Marcus Aurelius: don't react to emotions, watch them, then refocus. Repeat this mantra: I am focused, and nothing will distract me. Say it with conviction. True focus is a muscle you train with patience and discipline. Stoicism gives the blueprint, the work is yours. Embrace it, and watch your day and life transform. Let's dive into something that often gets misunderstood: willpower. Many people think focus is just a skill you learn, like playing an instrument or mastering a software. But in reality, willpower is the real fuel behind focus. It's what keeps you going when distractions are screaming for your attention, when your energy dips, or when the comfort of procrastination calls your name. Think of willpower like a muscle. You can train it, strengthen it over time. But here's the catch: just like any muscle, willpower can get tired. If you push it too hard without rest, it weakens. That's why you sometimes find yourself with great intentions in the morning, but by mid-afternoon, your focus crumbles. It's not a lack of discipline, it's your willpower simply running low. What's really interesting is how the ancient Stoics approached this. They didn't rely on sheer force of will alone. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic thinkers knew that willpower by itself isn't enough, it must be paired with strategy, balance, and practical systems. They understood the power of designing your environment and habits so you don't have to constantly fight little battles of will. For example, setting up a daily routine or a schedule isn't just about being organized, it's about saving your willpower for the big decisions and the tasks that really matter. When your day is structured, you don't waste precious mental energy on trivial choices like what to wear or when to check your phone. These systems reduce the constant drain on your willpower, making it easier to stay laser-focused. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that willpower must serve a higher purpose: your core values and goals. When your willpower is aligned with what truly matters to you, it becomes easier to push through discomfort and distractions because you're not just fighting for focus, you're fighting for your purpose. So here's the challenge: start thinking about your willpower not as an endless resource, but as something precious that needs to be managed wisely. Build routines that protect your energy, create systems that reduce decision fatigue, and always anchor your efforts to your deepest values. Repeat after me: I have the will to stay focused. Say it loud, say it proud. Because willpower isn't just about toughing it out, it's about smartly managing your energy, your environment, and your purpose. With the right mindset and habits, you can cultivate unstoppable focus that drives real results in your life. Have you ever noticed how emotions like anger, fear, or anxiety can suddenly take over your mind, pulling you off track and making it hard to think clearly? It's like your thoughts get hijacked, and you feel powerless. If we don't learn to manage these emotions, they end up controlling us instead of the other way around. This is where the wisdom of the Stoics shines the brightest. They didn't teach us to suppress or ignore our emotions, because that just buries the problem deeper. Instead, Stoicism invites us to step back, observe our feelings without judgment, and use them as fuel. Yes, fuel, powerful energy that, when harnessed, can drive us forward rather than hold us back. Think about anger. It's often seen as destructive, right? But the Stoics show us how to transform that anger into focused, purposeful action. Instead of reacting impulsively or letting anger consume you, what if you could channel that energy into solving a problem or making a change? That's true mastery of emotion. Or take fear, it's one of the strongest emotions that freeze us or make us retreat. But fear can also be a signal to slow down, be more cautious, and make smarter decisions. Turning fear into careful planning and thoughtful strategy gives you control, rather than letting fear run your life, and sadness, often seen as weakness, can be an opportunity for deep self-reflection. It invites us to pause, learn, and grow from our experiences. Instead of drowning in despair, we can use sadness as a moment to understand ourselves better and make wiser choices going forward. One practical technique that the Stoics recommend, and that anyone can use, is simply to pause. When an intense emotion hits, take a moment. Don't react immediately. Observe what you're feeling, acknowledge it, and then consciously choose your response. This pause creates a space, a buffer between the emotion and your action, giving you control. Imagine that moment. Instead of losing your temper or shutting down in fear, you pause and say to yourself, I'm aware of this feeling, but I decide what happens next. That's empowerment. So today, I want you to repeat this powerful affirmation: I control my emotions. They don't control me. Because true strength doesn't come from avoiding emotions, it comes from mastering them through awareness and focus. When you do that, nothing can pull you off your path. Let's get real for a moment. Focus is like a muscle. It's not something you're born with, it's something you build and strengthen over time. And just like any muscle, if you want it to grow, you need to train it with the right exercises. One of the most powerful tools for building mental endurance is the Pomodoro technique. Here's how it works: you commit to working with total focus for 25 minutes, no distractions, no multitasking. Then, you give yourself a well-deserved 5-minute break to recharge. After completing 4 of these cycles, you take a longer break, maybe 15 or 20 minutes. This simple rhythm trains your brain to sustain concentration in bursts, improving your stamina over time. Think of it as interval training, but for your mind. Another amazing practice to sharpen your focus is mindful breathing. It's easy, but surprisingly effective. Breathe in deeply for 4 seconds, hold that breath gently for 4 seconds. And then slowly exhale for 6 seconds. This pattern calms your nervous system, reduces stress, and clears your mental fog. Whenever your mind feels scattered, come back to your breath. This is your anchor. Visualization is another game changer. Before you start a task, take a moment to imagine yourself completing it successfully. See the steps, feel the satisfaction of finishing, and mentally commit to the action. This mental rehearsal primes your brain to focus and increases your motivation to follow through. And finally, don't underestimate the power of daily journaling. At the end of each day, jot down what worked well, what distracted you, and what you want to improve. This simple habit boosts your self-awareness and helps you take control over your focus patterns. It's like being your own coach, constantly fine-tuning your mental game. All these exercises, Pomodoro, mindful breathing, visualization, journaling, they're not complicated. But they require consistency. Your mind is like a garden, the more you tend it, the stronger and clearer it becomes. So here's your challenge: I am training my mind to stay focused. Say it with conviction, then take action. Because focus is a skill you can build, and every step you take brings you closer to mastery. Here's the truth: focus isn't something that just happens magically. It's a skill, a muscle, you have to train every single day. You don't wake up one morning suddenly able to block out distractions or master your emotions. It takes daily commitment and consistent practice. That's where Stoic philosophy comes in. By combining practical Stoic exercises, learning to control your emotions instead of letting them control you, and dedicating yourself to regular mental training, you start to build what I like to call an unbreakable mind. A mind that stands strong in the face of chaos, doubt, and distraction. But make no mistake, discipline and persistence are the real game changers here. It's the daily decisions to show up, to pause before reacting, to refocus when your attention drifts, that shape your mental strength. Your mind isn't your enemy, it's your greatest ally. And once you learn how to train it properly, you unlock your full potential. So here's my challenge to you: if this video inspired you, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more content that helps you grow. Turn on notifications so you never miss a chance to sharpen your mind. And drop a comment below telling me how you're committing to this journey of mental mastery. Remember, focus isn't just about getting things done, it's about becoming the person who can conquer any challenge life throws at them. Your unbreakable mind is waiting to be built. Are you ready?